Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen, to Global Impromptu Speaking Session number 97. What a journey it has been. We're waiting for our 100th session, and I have been mentioning from last 2 to 3 meetings. And today we have a surprise for you. And surprise is every one of you are a topic master, and you are going to give topic to one another fellow. The rules are I will open the meeting. I will give one topic. I will throw the topic first, and you can volunteer yourself if you like to attempt that topic. And I will choose if there are more than one hands raised. I will pick one of you, and that person will finish the topic, and the person will give the topic to another person once he or she is done with her delivery or speech. So prepare your topic in advance. Make sure your question which is running in your mind, which is not letting you sleep every night, ask that question, ask a difficult question, and get the answer from that person. You never know, the problem is solved after that speech of 2 minutes. Let's see how it goes. But to manage this entire session, we have somebody very dedicated. She's known now as champion speaker, champion topics master. She has volunteered herself as timer today. So please put your hands together to welcome Toastmaster Sindhu to explain the timing mechanism.
Good evening, my dear friends of Global Impromptu Table Topic Session, and a special good evening to DTM Amjadji. And thank you for your kind words, sir. I'm really, actually, I feel so happy, elated on hearing all these beautiful words. So I'm the timer for the day. I'll be timing your speech. So when you speak for 1 minute, you will see the background, a green background. At 1 minute, 30 seconds, you will see yellow amber background. And at 2 minutes, you will see red background. And this will be continued till you stop speaking. And all are requested to stop speaking within 2 minutes, and it may go up to 2 minutes 30 seconds because we want chance for all the speakers over here. That's all, sir. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sindhu. Really appreciate for your support as usual. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any doubt, any confusion in our rules, please let me know. Today, everyone is the topics master. Prepare your topic and make sure you ask to the person who is raising their hand. And if you don't know somebody is raising hand, if you are logged in from mobile device, if you are unable to see, and you can ask, you can take our assistance. I'm there to assist you, or we have everyone is there to assist you. So today my topic which I'm going to offer you is, the first topic goes like, life reciprocates, be nice to it. Life reciprocates, be nice to it. Who would like to go for this topic? Anybody else? Okay, I would choose Toastmaster Savita Kamath. Let me repeat. Life reciprocates, be nice to it. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much, DTM Amjad Ali. Life reciprocates. Be nice to it. So true it is. Yes, whatever we do in our life, it comes back in some or other form. It is sheer luck or sheer fate or sheer anything you would say. Life is such a wonderful phenomena. We don't realize because we are not aware of the life principles at so many stages. When we are growing up, I think childhood and even adult also, we don't realize because just we are inputting something, we are doing something. But realization comes when the time comes of coming back. After a particular age, when we start expecting, then back of the mind, even if it is not coming back, our back of the mind, our conscious tells us something somewhere has gone wrong, that it is not coming back. Our hard work has not been enough, or something, some blessings have not been enough. Our inputs in some way has not been enough in somewhere, that it is not coming back. Yes, life reciprocates. Only thing, only we have to just realize it or just, they say, just close your eyes, just rewind your life and see where all, what went wrong, or what could have been done better. You get the answer. You get the answer. The only thing required is introspection, which comes, I think, at a later age. Younger age, it doesn't come. We are in a, hurry to just achieve, get this, that, and all this competition and struggle and so much. But you realize, and the reciprocation definitely come back. It's an echo, it's a mirror. Life is a beautiful journey. Only we have to realize it. Thank you very much. I don't have to say back to the DTM Amjad. I think I have to give the topic now to the next one. Okay, my topic is a mind that is stretched by new experience can never go back to old dimensions. I'll repeat, a mind that is stretched by new experience can never go back to old dimensions.
Yeah, if you expand the mind with a new experience.
Who is raising the hand? I have to decide.
Yeah. Sherman.
You have raised your hand?
Yeah.
Anybody else? No, I think only Toastmaster Sherman, I can see his hand.
Yeah.
Okay, over to you, Toastmaster Sherman. You got the topic.
Yeah.
Okay, over to you, sir.
Yeah, if you experience with a new thing, and your mind will expand, and also your brain will not come up to the same situation. It's the different. Madam, Savita and all the important friends, and that's actually, it's a very good thing. If you want to get things done, also you can say like multi-talented people or multi-skills. If you practice, if you start other than your job, doing another thing or new creative thing, the mind will not come up to the same standard. You are in a different status, and with that, you can achieve number of things, and getting motivated and inspiring. You have more knowledge. You have deviation with your daily routine, and you get different experiences. So with that, in time to come, in future also, if you get challenges, you can face it. You have more knowledge, and you have come up to the different situation in mind. So then you are very strong. And like in this situation, I'm doing something other than my work. I have a chance to learning the marketing, the project management, or general management. So with that, I'm handling this job. Otherwise, we have to leave the company and go home without a job. Over to you, Madam Savita.
Okay, great.
Sir, you have to give topic to another.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Toastmaster Sharman, before there are some new joiners, I would like to clarify today everybody is a table topic master. The person who speaks, completes the speak, will give a topic. People who are interested to reply can raise their hands. And like in this case, Sharman will give a topic. Who is interested to respond, please raise your hands. He will decide whom he gives the topic. And then the session goes on like that. Okay, yeah. Over to you, Sharman.
Yeah, my topic is, are you feeding what you ought to be fighting? That means if you are doing something bad thing, and if you want to fight, but anyway you keep on feeding. That's the topic. Are you feeding what you ought to be fighting? Dr. Farida? Yes.
Yes, Mr. Sherman, thank you for the topic. A very good evening to my beloved Global Impromptu family members. The topic that has been given to me is surely applicable to me. Are you feeding what you ought to be fighting? I must make a confession that I am one of those people who is a compulsive eater. I've tried to fight it so many times, especially after listening to TM Abhinav many times talking about his good dietary habits. I have really tried to follow many diets, but it has been a sheer failure. Yes, I have a certain bad habits that I continue to feed instead of fighting them, but I do keep up the struggle. I haven't given up hope completely, because I feel that if I give up completely, then it is like letting go of myself. If we know that there is a certain trait or a habit or a personality characteristic which is not really at par to standards, or which is not really suiting us or becoming to us, it is our sheer responsibility to fight it. And then if we succeed or not, that really depends more on willpower. Some of us are a little weak in that respect, maybe like me, and some are dreadfully strong, like TM Abhinav. But anyways, I would like to make this confession that yes, I do have something that I'm fighting against, which is compulsive eating, but I'm failing at it. A very good evening to everybody. The topic, thank you. The topic that is for everybody is obstacles are what you see when you lose sight of your goal. Obstacles are what you see when you lose sight of your goals. We have we have three: Jesse, Zainab, Dishinath, and Sushant. Okay, who wants to go? Pick a pick.
You have to decide, Dr. Farida.
Okay, can I go with Sushant because he joined? He was the first to join in the meeting.
Thank you. Ma'am, can you repeat the topic once again?
Obstacles are what you see when you lose sight of your goal. I will type it in the chat.
Obstacles are what you see when you lose the sight of your goal. And that's a very apt one. That's a very good meaning in our life. That's something what we need to learn. What is an obstacle? That is something makes us stop from doing a particular task. And why do we face obstacle? How does the obstacle come when we are prepared for everything? When we know to do, because we are losing the sight. We are taking it for granted. We are not seeing it properly. And that's the point. If you have set a goal, walk towards it or either run towards it. It's up to you. But only thing is never stop or never slow down. Or either never walk backwards. That may be a very big obstacle for me. Either for everyone. I faced so many obstacles, and it was just because of losing the sight of my goal. I learned from my mistakes and I understood what it was really, where I did the mistake. I found out, I corrected myself, and I've started winning things. But let me say, I'm not master in stuff. I'm just a beginner. I'm just a learner. I'm proud to say that I'm a learner instead of I'm not a winner. And that's what it is. Life has so many obstacles. It only because you're losing your sight of your goal. So friends, kindly target on your goal. Have 101% focus on it. You will surely achieve it. You will see obstacles in a percentage of 0. Topics master, thank you. Okay, fine. It's my time right now. 1 minute, I'll just take the topic. Okay. You don't take a photograph, you make it. I'll repeat. You don't take a photograph, you make it. So may I know who wants to speak on this? Okay, I can see Mr. Zainab raising her hand. Anyone else? Okay, I think so. Zainab, the topic is yours. You don't take a photograph, you make it.
First of all, a very good evening to everyone. So the topic given to me is you don't take a photograph, you make it. I feel this topic is very apt in today's world where Photoshop is just a swipe away. Nowadays we don't believing in taking pictures. Like I remember going through my mom's old albums and my dad's old albums, and all the pictures are so candid. There'll be pictures where they'll be just laughing, and there'll be pictures where we'll just be doing random things, and someone will be moving, half the people won't even be looking in the camera. That's half my mom's picture album with her friends. But nowadays, even the candids are so perfect because they're all planned. Nowadays, I feel in the world of Instagram and Snapchat and Facebook and all of those things where everything has to be presentable and Instagrammable, and it should be apt for the audience you have on Snapchat and the platforms that you serve. I feel you want everything perfect. So everyone has this bubble of illusion where pictures, I remember pictures would be capturing memories at a point. Like I feel everyone on this platform would agree, like when they would look at pictures or when they would see their own old pictures, they're reminded of the memories. But I feel this is one thing that our generation kind of lacks, because we are so focused in perfecting perfecting every angle and every hair strand in every picture, that we leave out on the sheer fun and the small moments that actually make those memories. So most of our pictures remind us of standing in 2 hours of heat to get that perfect sun glow, rather than the memories which are captured within that photograph. But I would like to add and say this, that I do agree that pictures are made, but at the same time we're making memories in the background. We might be standing 2 hours in the sun, but that picture did come out pretty perfect, and that would make a pretty perfect memory of everyone struggling and doing work together. And I think that would be it. Thank you so much. Now the topic that I wanted to give was, there's a line between accepting failure and choosing to live with it. There's a line between accepting failure and choosing to live with it. Who would like to volunteer? Okay, so I see Jessie ma'am raising her hand. Okay, so I think the topic is yours.
Okay, I raised my hand, but did not think of the topic. Okay. Can you repeat the topic here?
Yes, there's a line between accepting failure and choosing to live with it. I've also put it down in the chat box.
Okay, there's a line between accepting failure and choosing to live with it. Many a times I am the person, like when there is a failure, I kind of accept as it is. Like, sometimes it's easy to accept failure, and then it's okay. And sometimes I don't even attempt to overcome and then try it again, also thinking that it's okay, maybe it's not my kind of thing. Leave it. The world, the universe is huge, and there are so many avenues to try. If one door is closed, there are windows open. Knock the other door. So it also, it depends how you take the failure. Is also like sometimes it's a failure. If you do the same thing, if you failed at one attempt and you're going to do the same way and again the same way, you're going to get the results the same way. You need to have a different strategy to overcome it. If you cannot get another strategy, you are going to be failing again and again and without achieving any results. So there's a difference between failing and learning, and between choosing to live with that, do the same thing. Anyhow, it's not going, but I'm just living the same way. What example I can give it to you? Oh, okay, children who are not scoring good marks also, they accept they are not good at it. They self-affirm, saying that I am not good at it. So there are people who maths, I am not good at it. They confirm I'm not good at it. When you say self-affirmation is there, then you choose to live with that kind of thing. Arabic, I hate Arabic. I don't like Arabic. But then you'll have to live with that till the 10th year or till you get your school is over. So there's a line between accepting failure and choosing to live with that. Most of the school children do the same thing, and we also do the same thing unknowingly. Over to you, to Toastmaster Zainab. Okay, my topic is none are so empty as those who are full of themselves. Is it a tough one? None are so empty as those who are full of themselves. Sunita, over to you, Sunita.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jesse. None are so empty as those who are so full of themselves. I've heard this quote: ego is the anesthesia that kills the pain of stupidity. So somebody who's so full of themselves, they are not open to new ideas and new criticisms. So somebody who's so full of themselves, who thinks he is the know-it-all, is never going to open himself to change, open himself to new thoughts. And that's the biggest mistake anybody can make. Change is the only thing that is constant, and we should be ready to accept that we are not perfect. We need to take criticism, we need to take feedback, evaluation, and change accordingly. But there is this group of people who think they know everything they've reached, and that's the worst thing that can happen to anybody, because that is the sure shot way to disaster. You're not going to progress any further in life. You have reached standstill, and you think that everybody around you is stupid. You are the only person who knows everything, and there's no bigger blunder you can make in life. So keep yourself open. Don't think you know it all, and be ready to accept change and progress in life. Okay, that's my take on the subject. Thank you. I have got a sentence over here. Okay, this is my topic. Boundaries don't keep other people out. Instead, they fence you in. I post it on the boundaries don't keep other people out. Instead, they fence in. Anybody for this? My God, is it so difficult? Ajay, Umar, I thought so many, Arya, I thought so many people would try.
I'll go for it, Sunita, no problem.
Easy, it is talkable.
Boundaries don't keep other people out. Instead, they fence you in.
Well, thank you so much, Toastmaster Sunita. Indeed, I do fully agree with this topic. Boundaries. Okay, let me just try to define boundaries. Now, boundaries is something basically which is made to differentiate two areas of a particular. If it is draw it on the ground, it's between two areas. If it's drawn between two people, it's basically to keep their characteristics away. And when you start drawing boundaries, we have to understand at every given moment in our life, there is no way ever to control the thought process or the response or the reaction, whether it be love, hate, whatever it may be, of another person. That is not in your control. So what you basically do when you draw a boundary is you are limiting yourself from going across and reaching out to the other person in your own different way, in your own different world. That in no way stops the other person to come back and say whatever that person wanted to say. He or she wants to react. And that, I think, is one of the biggest reasons of sadness, depression in our lives, because we care too much about what the other person is going to feel. In Hindi, we call it log kya kahenge. And that is precisely the area which we draw ourselves, and we try to enclose ourselves. Okay, Savita is not going to react properly or respond properly, so I'm not going to talk to her, or I'm not going to say this to her. Now, I have drawn a boundary for myself, keeping me away to interact with Savita, but that in no way stops her from reacting, response the way she wants to do it. So I definitely agree. I think it's a life principle that boundaries never keep other people out. It's only that you're fencing yourself in your own different arena, in your own mode, in your own characteristics. And in many occasions, this probably is one of the biggest hurdles for not getting that happiness which you so much desire. Okay, over to me myself. I'm the topics master. Okay, let me see. I had written it down. Let me just check it out. Okay, the topic for whoever wants to take it, it's very simple. Often, people are not wrong. They are just different. Often, people are not just wrong or not wrong. They're just different. Who would like to go for it? Dinisha has raised hand. Monu has raised hand. Anybody else wants to have a shot at it? Okay, fantastic. Okay, Monu, go ahead. I'll repeat the topic, Monu, for you. Often,
yes, sir.
People are not wrong. They are just different. Over to you, Monu.
Thank you. Good evening, all fellow Toastmaster. Often, peoples are not wrong. They are just different. My dear friends, many times in our life, something happens that we argue even with our family members, with our spouse, even with our boss or colleagues. We just try to convey them that the things I'm saying that is exactly absolutely correct. This is our or their perspective. We have our own mind, they have their own mind. We think by our mind and they think their own way. The thing is, they are thinking the thing is differently, but we are thinking something different way. We are correct at our place and they are also correct at their place. But things is, they are thinking that this is the thing which is going to bad, going to harm for them. But what we are saying, this is also a correct. But we are, sometimes it may happen, we may also wrong. But as an elder, what we are suggesting, that is good. Like in our also family members, whatever guidance is given by our parents, we should follow. Because what they are saying, this is absolutely fine. Because they are so experienced person. They have a wisdom that we don't have. So we should keep this thing in mind that whatever they are saying absolutely right. Because they have lived their lives, but we are just starting from the scratch. Sometimes it happens, the thing they are saying, it may be wrong, but it doesn't matter. The matter is they are young, they are eldest, and we have to follow them. If they are wrong, so this way we can understand, we can also feel the experience what the thing is going. So always we have to follow others and also give the good suggestion to our younger. In our life, many times happens that we are also doing good things and sometimes we may also wrong. In our house, when we have a fight with our spouse, we are saying this thing is wrong, but she's saying this is not wrong. In this time, we don't know who is correct, but we have to take this as positive and do with our own mind, not do the thing in a hurry. So always we are not wrong. Sometimes we may correct also. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Over to you.
So over to you, Manu.
Thank you, sir. So the topic is, just need to give view on this topic. This is a kind of question. Are Superman or Batman misleading the idols? I'm repeating again. Are Batman or Superman misleading the idols? Who's going to No one is raising hand, I think. So I'm going to choose. Sindhu ma'am, would you like to come?
Manu, are you asking the question to me? Is the topic for me?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. May I have the question once again? Topic once again.
Yes. The question is just a question. So you have to give your view on that. Are Batman or Superman misleading the idols?
I'll take the
Good
time.
evening. Okay, thank you so much. Good evening, my dear friends of Global Impromptu Table Topic Session. Our Superman and Batsman misleading the idols. Actually, I will never agree to this topic. I think that we need to have an idol. Only then we'll be doing something from our end. I have seen that many of the kids, not only kids, adults, having a idol. Idol is someone whom is a model for us. So we try to adjust ourselves, or we always try to condition ourselves according to the idols. And I would like to say about my daily routine that I would watch a lot of motivational videos. So today I watched around 3 to 4 motivational videos. So around 5 hours I spent for watching motivational videos. And finally, I'm not improving anything from my end. I think finally I'll become a motivational speaker if this goes on. Today I watched a video on time management, then how to stop procrastination. So there are different areas which I spend on regular basis. And there will be 1 or 2 idols for me for the day, and the next day I'll switch to some other person. So this is my daily routine. So I think that such idols are keeping us motivating, and on daily basis we are stimulating ourselves. We need something to lead us forward. I do believe that every human being needs something to move us, keep our momentum. So we need something. So this is the form of the motivation. I cannot get the help from all the other all my family members or friends. So if motivational speakers are there, free self-help books are there, we are able to move forward without much difficulty. In life, we have to come across many challenges. And as Ajay sir said, there are points of depression. So who will come to help us? If sometimes we may not have a right person to disclose our sorrows or disappointments. So at that time, we watch something like this. So that keeps us cool, and that gives us the courage, and that gives us the courage to put the next step forward. So I think that idols are very important in one's life, and those who don't have it, please make it a point to watch someone or to read books of some others in your life forever. Over
Thank
to
you, ma'am. Over to you, ma'am.
Okay, not to Monu, back to me. Okay, thank you so much. Now the topic which I have is this. I will give you this topic. Anyone can take it. Like it's like this. It's a word. I would like to say these are the words of our Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. I am not handsome, but I can give my hand to someone who needs help. I think Toastmaster Uma will be speaking on this. I want to hear the thoughts of Toastmaster Uma on this.
Okay.
Thanks.
So actually, I have to acknowledge that I am not handsome,
And
but
you are handsome.
but I have a very giving nature, and I always feel that when you give out to humanity, when you serve them, and have that service leadership in you, that's the face that shines, and the satisfaction that you get, your inner satisfaction that you get, is what makes you truly beautiful. Your giving, your kindness, your care, your love, all these things are very important in life. And that is the real beauty of a person. If you have all these characteristics, that you can, you that makes you truly, that I always believe that that is your true makeup. When you call what you are made up of, I do not say what is your makeup, I say what you are made up of. You are made up of love, you are made up of kindness, you are made up of happiness. Every quality that you can have, you can possess, and that is something you need to do. Love, world needs more of people like the things that matter to us. Like we have to create a difference. If you are trying to help others, it doesn't mean that you are lower than them or you are not. It's all about having that compassion, empathy, and feelings for others, and trying. And that is what makes you different. That will make you stand out. It's not about being selfish all the time. It's all about having others, trying to help others also. I always believe that when God gives you something, don't raise your standard of living, raise your standard of giving. So give out what have you learned throughout your life, whatever you have earned throughout your life. Learn, earn, and that give back that whatever you have given. That's what true meaning of life is. Over to you, Life Master. Oh, now my topic. Huh? Okay. So easy one. You leave people for the same reason you got attracted in the first place. I'll repeat. You leave people for the same reasons you got attracted to them in first place. Who will try to attempt? Or I can have another topic also, easy one. Nobody.
Actually, those who have spoken would be dying to speak on this topic, but they have already spoken. So people who have spoken are not raising their hands. So people who have not spoken, please raise your hands.
Otherwise, Toastmaster Umar can choose anyone.
Umar, you can choose.
Haritika, you want to speak on it?
Okay, just repeat the topic.
Yes, you leave people for the same reason you got attracted to them in the first place. I'll repeat, you leave people for the same reason
you got attracted to them
in the first place. For the same. If you want an easier topic, then we can give you also the easier one.
Please give me an easy topic if possible. I'm not getting this topic. I'm not getting any content for this topic.
Umar, can I attempt the topic? I'll do that.
Who?
Arya, go ahead, Arya.
Arya. Oh, the HR manager, huh? Okay.
Good evening, Global Impromptu Toastmasters. My topic today is you leave people for the same reason you got attracted to them for the first place. Am I right?
In the first place, yes.
In the first place. I completely disagree. In my life, I've always lived by the rule that the birds of same feather flock together. And I've seen it happening because you're always attracted to somebody, attraction is a very, it can be in many perspectives. You are attracted to them towards their working ethics. You are attracted towards their beauty. You are attracted towards their giving or loving nature. So the attraction is very different. And I believe that as we grow and as we age, our attraction changes. So at my age, at the age of 40, I would say I'm attracted towards the peace and the warmth which I get from the people. For that reason, I would never leave somebody. So if I was attracted to somebody for being very nice and courteous, I've seen Toastmaster Sindhu, Savita, all of you. So I don't think so I would never leave you for that reason. So I believe that the phrase what you have mentioned is a perspective of the age, because as you grow and as you get wiser, this becomes more relatable because we start choosing our friends. Right now, I have a very limited set of friends which I share my life. So unlike I was in my teens, I had 50 friends. So I believe that it changes as you grow. So that's over to me. Back to me. So my table topic is, okay, I should choose somebody. Anupama, would you like to try?
Sure.
All right.
No, 1 minute. Don't talk. Yes, I can take.
All right, thank you. So your topic is, why do you matter?
Okay. Good evening, my global impromptu friends. Why do I matter? I matter. The very existence of me makes it a special thing. The very existence that I am there, it matters a lot for me because I am the only person who understands me the best. No one can understand me better than me myself. There is a totally funny sadhu. I don't want to take his name, but he is the person who always says, it is the me in me looking for me at me. So when it comes to me, it is only me, and that matters a lot to me. So, and it's only through my, only I can take the best out of me. So it matters a lot to me. My happiness, my growth, my development, everything matters a lot. My fitness should also matter to me. But then the thing is, as I'm getting, as I'm aging, instead of getting wiser, I'm getting little wider. That's the only part I have to work on. But otherwise, I'm more worried about my happiness, my satisfaction, my goals, which are, as Arya said, when you're 15, it was something else. And now when I'm 50, it is totally something else. So at every stage, I matter a lot for me. Over to the table topic, ma'am. Okay, so I should give a topic, is it?
And anybody can raise their hands to attempt it. You need not find somebody. Whoever raises the hands can attempt it.
Okay, I will just see, as a student, we always had these acronyms to make fun of anyone. Maybe the teachers, maybe the students, maybe our rivals. So I will just give you an acronym and you can make anything out of it. Okay, so I will give an acronym. LEAVE, LEAVE, LEAVE. Anybody?
Ma'am, could you please repeat the statement, the acronym?
You can choose. You can make anything out of it. I'm just giving you that. You have to make it. Is it difficult? Another acronym?
Leave, right, Anupama?
Yeah,
LEAVE.
LEAVE. Or should I give an easy one? Okay, fear. FEAR, fear. Who hasn't spoken till now? Sorry, I joined late, so I don't know what.
Mukund, Rehan, Dhruv, Ritika.
Rehan, can you say fear?
Mukund is there, Rehan is there, Dhruv is there,
Mukund? Mukund?
Suchita is there.
Okay, Mukund, I will give you a hint. Fear, if you're positive, you can say face everything and rise. If you're negative, you can say forget everything and run. The choice is yours. What do you want to take?
Ma'am, I'll take the positive one.
Very good.
Uh, Good evening, everyone. My name is Mukund from the GSS Gavel Club. My topic is on an acronym FEAR, which is said to mean face everything and rise. So, even in school, even if we find a topic to be hard, no one tells us to stop trying to get it and just leave. They tell us to try and understand it instead of just thinking that you can't do it. So this meaning could be that here, anything we do, we have to see what difficulties are there and try and overcome them. Ma'am, I'm sorry, I don't have much to speak.
Mukund, you have to give a topic to anybody.
The topic can be, what is something you'll never do?
I will never do.
No.
Uh,
Who's going to take it?
Right?
yeah,
Okay,
Dhruv.
go ahead.
Okay. First, I'd like to offer my apologies. I'm not able to turn on my camera because whenever I turn on my camera, my Zoom glitches and I'm out of the meeting. So my topic today is what I will not do. There are many things I will not do when I grow up, but probably the most important thing that my parents and teachers stresses upon is I will never do bad things such as smoking and drinking. Now, I know whenever we learn about this, everybody's like, yeah, we won't do. But sometimes when we grow old, we do tend to reach to these things. As in our teenage years or as our adolescent years, we try it and then we get addicted to it. So my parents continuously tell me, don't do this, don't do this, don't do it. And I'm like, I won't do it. But then at some point after time, I ask myself, will I do it? So then one day I swore to myself saying that if I drink or if I smoke, that I will not forgive myself for it, because it is not only bad for us, it is bad for the people around us. Because sometimes people drink and then sometimes they might get overloaded, they might become drunk, and the other young generation see this and they get influenced by it. Sometimes people take cigarettes and then the people around them inhale that exhaled air of the cigarette, and that also damages equally their lungs. So for those reasons, I'm not going to smoke a cigarette or drink alcohol when I grow old. Thank you.
Dhruv, you can give the topic.
So the topic that I will be giving is, would you prefer to lose truthfully or win by cheating? My topic is, would you lose truthfully or win by cheating? So anybody wants to do it? Yes, Tushita ma'am, you can
Tushita
do
ma'am.
it. Tushita.
Dear friends, I would like to win truthfully, not by cheating. By cheating, I will not do anything. It's not necessary because in our life, we fail so many times. We have to accept failure gracefully. We don't have to win every time by doing bad things, by doing cheating. It's not done. Our religions, any religion, will teach us to do good things, not to cheat, to do everything with very good intention. In life, we face obstacles, failures, but failures are the best teachers. No matter, even if you fail, you rise up one more time, then you can definitely win without cheating. The person who invented the bulb, Sir Thomas Alva Edison, failed so many times, 9,999 times, but he never gave up. He tried his best to achieve his ultimate goal, and ultimately he achieved. We should not fear failure. Why we should not try so many things? We are very reluctant to try and achieve and go through all the obstacles until we achieve the goal, because we are very scared about failures. No, failures are the best teachers. When we fail, we learn so many things. Then we can move forward. Ladies and gentlemen, you should never win by cheating. Even if you lose, you can try until you achieve the goal. And it's now my opportunity to give the topic. It's a very simple one. Hate the sin, love the sinner. Hate the sin, love the sinner. who would like to speak? I have logged in from a mobile. Will you kindly tell me who
Yeah,
would
four
like
are
to
left.
speak?
Four are left. Jaya, Dinisha, Ritika,
Dinisha
and
ma'am, like I think she raised so many times hand, but Dinisha ma'am.
Dinisha.
Dinesha, would you like to try? Hate the sin, love the sinner.
Again, please. Topic, please. Again.
Hate the sin,
Hate
love,
this.
love the sinner.
This. Right. Thank you. Good evening to you all. And, we have many things, love and hate. They are side of a coin. One side is love, other side is hate. We do either hate or love to everything. But many things with what we love may not be the good things. Sometimes we love the bad things also, the sins. That is why even when we are very small, our mothers look after us and tell, no, you should not do that. It's a sin. That is how we get the concept of the sin. Otherwise, we do. I remember that I play with the ants going on the floor, disturbing them. But my grandma says, no, it's a sin. Then only I got to know. Otherwise, I enjoy it very much. So we have to love for the good things, but not the sin. If you practice sin many times, that becomes a habit. When you grow, when a child grows with sins, he has no idea of whether it's a sin or not. So it applies to everything. That is how they may become some wrongdoers. That is a that is a burden to the society. So if you hate the sin and loves the good things, that is help for your society, your family, and at most it's for you. Yes. Sorry. Next, my turn to give the topic. The topic is 1 ounce of protection is worth a pound of cure. 1 ounce of protection is worth a pound of cure. Anybody is?
I think Haritika is left. Haritika can try. Haritika,
Jaya
are you
is
there?
also there. Jaya?
Oh, Jaya also.
Jaya?
Jaya.
Jaya and Ritika, you are the last two people. Please speak.
No, then Amjadji can take.
All right. I'm ready. I'm ready. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you so much, Madam Topics Master, Toastmaster Dinisha. 1 ounce of protection is better than a pound of cure. Absolutely. It's like you need to avoid taking such risk which can put you in trouble, because tomorrow that will not be able to cure, or we won't be able to cure them. So I will take relationships in this context. Don't take risk in terms of relationships. be it your siblings, your parents. Your parents are at the top, and then everything comes, especially your friends as well. Don't try to judge them, don't test them, because if you lose them, then you won't be able to cure that relationship at all. So, protection of your thoughts, of your imagination, this could have happened, this would have happened, avoid that. So, tomorrow you don't have to feel, oh my God, perhaps, or I should not have done it. I could have thought differently. So these things are perhaps working in our life right now. We're all judging our friends, our family members, and especially ourselves. And we are hurting our own thoughts, the person we are living with 24/7. And later in stage, the same person is not able to cure that person, our own feeling, because we have hurt ourselves so badly that we are not able to cure ourselves. So, in every context, if you think this statement applies, is so true that we have to avoid judging people, because 1 ounce of protection is better than a pound of cure. Even many pounds will not work if something is already hurt, the damage is already has happened. So, avoid damaging your relationship, especially, I would say everything, but especially the relationships. You can make money, you can make an empire, but relationships are very hard to cure. Please take care of your relationships. And I would never take a risk to lose your relationship. I love you all. I like you all. I respect you all. Please be with me because I'm always there. I seriously, truly respect you. You guys are amazing. Because of you, I'm learning a lot. I'm growing a lot. I'm making sense a lot. Thank you so much. Really appreciate. I repeat once again, 1 ounce of protection is better than a pound of cure. Thank you so much, Madam Topics Master.
We are done, Amjadji.
All right. So nobody's left. Thank you so much, fellow Toastmaster, ladies and gentlemen, for making this show a successful one. And you guys are amazing, literally. You have so many amazing ideas to ask questions. And these questions are normally, we always keep on thinking. And then they become big question, then we ask, and we can take an answer from somebody else. Then we feel, oh, I was thinking something as such. And now this person has a different perspective. It's like a debate. Thank you so much. Let's go to our Madam Timer Toastmaster Sindhu, our champion timer, champion speaker, to read out the timing report, please. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, here is a timing report of the today's session. First, Toastmaster Savita has taken 2 minutes. Toastmaster Sherman has taken 1 minute 52 seconds. Toastmaster Farida has taken 1 minute 37 seconds. Gavle Sushant has taken 1 minute 41 seconds. Zainab has taken 1 minute 59 seconds. DTM Jesse has taken 2 minutes 14 seconds. Toastmaster Sunita has taken 1 minute 31 seconds. Toastmaster Ajay has taken 2 minutes 18 seconds. Toastmaster Monu has taken 2 minutes 50 seconds. Toastmaster Umar has taken 1 minute 48 seconds. Toastmaster Sindhu has taken 2 minutes 8 seconds. Toastmaster Ari has taken 1 minute 46 seconds. Toastmaster Anupama took 1 minute 39 seconds. Gavalier Mukund took 55 seconds. Gavalier Dhruv took 1 minute 26 seconds. Toastmaster Tusita has taken 1 minute 58 seconds. Toastmaster Dinisha 2 minutes 18 seconds. And finally, DTM Amjad has taken 2 minutes 44 seconds. This is the timer's report.
Thank you
That's
so
all.
much, Toastmaster Sindhu. Really appreciate for your diligent report. Really appreciate. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for every topic master of today's meeting. Thank you so much. Rather, your favorite topics master who put you in trouble. With that, far vested me as a host of this very meeting, I adjourn the meeting now over to each one of you to have fun for some time. Stay blessed, please.